Do they dock you points if I do something stupid?
No, I can edit that in or out. Probably in repeatedly. I'll just like do you saying that again and again and again.
Yeah.
So easy question first.
Mm-hmm.
What is your name and how you spell it?
My name is Rachel. You want my last name?
Sure.
Gibson, Rachel Gibson.
Sweet. That's just so when I'm editing it later.
Okay.
When your name comes up, I don't put Gibson with a J. I'd do that. Well, first off, what games do you play?
Do I have to look at this?
You can look at me.
Okay.
I understand it's sort of weird to look.
Yeah.
At that. So we can just have conversation.
Well, lately I haven't had time for a lot of games, but my favorite games, Portal, number one. Fan of BioShock. Braid is pretty cool. I know it's kind of, not as popular or whatever. I like the Fable games. Like I said, I haven't played in a while, so it's kind of hard to think of. Yeah, those are my favorites.
Well, so what this interview is about, and the show that it's going on, is asking the question, do you think video games cause violence? I mean, you see it on like shows like Glenn Beck and stuff all the time. And so what do you think in general? And then I'll ask you some follow-up questions.
That's total bullshit. Like, all of my friends, at least back home, play video games, and they're some of the most peaceful, loving people you'll meet. So it's actually kind of funny that we're doing this interview because I saw in my Social 100 class a video a couple weeks ago talking about violent media and how it affects the population. And what research has actually found is that it doesn't make people more violent. It makes people perceive violence in society more than it really happens. So it makes people actually fearful that violence is gonna happen to them when in reality it's probably not. So.
So obviously you are old enough to buy all the M for mature games and stuff. And as a kid growing up, did you ever have access to any of these higher rated games?
Well, as a kid, I mean, basically the only systems that were out at that point was Nintendo. I'm older, so we only had a Nintendo until high school, and then we got the PlayStation. But yeah, our mom, she would buy us those games in high school. It wasn't an issue.
So you would say that ratings kind of don't do too great of a job filtering out violent games for kids?
Well, I mean, they do filter out the violent games, but that doesn't mean that the kids aren't going to play them. If it's out there, then they're going to get a hold of it. I remember playing Mortal Kombat whenever I was younger, and that's one of the goriest games you can get with ripping heads off and stuff, so.
And I guess one of the huge components of this is, if it's violent, then we could just put it down. But the follow-up argument is games are addicting.
They are.
You think games are on a psychological or physical level even actually addicting, like a drug?
Probably for some people. Like I said, I used to play games a lot when I had the time to play games, but now I don't. So, I mean, I'm obviously was not addicted to them, but I'm sure that your brain does release chemicals and I know it releases adrenaline whenever you're playing a game and you're really into it. So I'm sure that people could very easily become addicted to that feeling of being in control and all the excitement that goes along with it.
Cool. And so final question, and it's not a hard one. Anything you'd like to add? Hey Mom!
Hi Mom! She's not going to see this, but hi anyways.
But yeah, and sort of, I just don't want to misinterpret your opinion, so if you could nutshell your opinion.
In a nutshell, violent video games, they do have negative consequences, but it's not the negative consequence of making people violent.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Sort of relatively painless.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.